Mercedes' 4MATIC system was a fantastic failure. In 1986, Mercedes hinted at a new technology that was going to be available in the W124 chassis. And later on that year, the first 4MATIC versions of the cars became available. Now, the 4MATIC system was not a Geländewagen-esque all-wheel drive system. Instead, it was a sort of hybrid system that allowed cars that would otherwise have poor traction in snow and in bad weather to be able to drive with increased surety under winter conditions or incredibly wet roads, gravelly roads, but not necessarily go off-roading. And judging by the height of a typical 124, you can tell that bad roads are not a problem, but no roads definitely are. Now, the way that the 4MATIC system worked was quite conventional. If you were to compare it to other four-wheel drive systems on a AMC Eagle or even a Volkswagen Synchro van, the idea was not all that different. Behind the transmission, you had a transfer case, and the transfer case was engaged only through sensory inputs. Now, there was a way under the hood you could engage the transfer case using hydraulic fluid allocation, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Most of the time, 4MATIC was engaged using a wheel slippage detector. So if the ABS system picked up a free spinning wheel in the back or free spinning rear wheels, it would actually allocate power to the control unit for the 4MATIC. The 4MATIC control unit, we use a hydraulic cylinder, a solenoid and a hydraulic cylinder to engage the piston that turned on 4MATIC, and 4MATIC would power to the front wheels to be routed through the transfer case, and then it would go into the differential, and the differential in the front would start to propel the car forward. It did not have a significant effect on gearing. It did not have a significant effect on really how the car felt. If anything, it felt a lot more sure-footed. But it was not some sort of performance four-wheel drive system like you would see in a track car. And it was also not the kind of system that really was meant to be engaged on dry roads and be a quote-unquote permanent four-wheel drive system. Instead, 4MATIC kind of came to the rescue when you needed it. And this is a lot like the system. I don't know if Mercedes studied the AMC Eagle or not, but this is a lot like the system on the AMC Eagle and similar AMC products during the 1980s that really, engaged as a part-time system on bad roads or for bad driving conditions. Now, the key differences between 4MATIC and non-4MATIC cars are pretty extreme. First of all, the placement of the transfer case, of course, necessitated modifications to the car's driveline and the drive shaft tunnel. So the drive shaft tunnel on cars that have the transfer case, of course, I can't remember exactly, but I believe it's wider, and I believe there are additional mounting points for said transfer case. The transfer case is more or less integrated into the back of the transmission. So 4MATIC cars do not have the same transmission housing in the rear. They also don't have the same output shaft. Instead, the 4MATIC almost acts as an adjunct member of the transmission. In order to make the hydraulic system work properly, there needed to be extra fluid pressure coming from the car's hydraulic pump. And so hydraulics were sort of a big thing. The transfer case was engaged using a hydraulic piston, and there was a hydraulic valve that controlled 4MATIC on, 4MATIC off that was located in the front right fender. Now, sometimes the 4MATIC system was also sometimes the 4MATIC system was also seen on sedans as well. So people think that the 4MATIC vehicles were just station wagons, but the 300E sedan, 300D sedan, 300D turbo sedan, 250D, 250TD, all these cars had 4MATIC systems. So they were all modified in respective ways to be able to carry this system. The biggest modifications were to the car's oil pan and front axle. 4MATIC cars had unique front wheel bearings that were a sealed bearing rather than a tapered roller bearing. These bearings were large assemblies that had to be pressed in and out, and it was very difficult. And yes, it is hard to find those parts. They also had special tie rods because they did have slightly more ground clearance, special strut towers, special front steering knuckles. And because the differential was mounted right below the oil pans in the cars were also heavily modified. I can't quite remember, but it would make also complete and total sense that the entire, I can't remember how it was modified, but because the front differential had to mount into the, I believe that it mounted into the oil pan itself, but it was a separate fluid. So the oil pan was on the top and the baffle or complete separation plate for the differential was in the bottom. And again, if I got this wrong, don't criticize me too much, please. But the whole idea was that the differential in the car had to be integrated into the vehicle without making extensive modifications to the front cross member. So as a result, the differential had to be integrated into the lower assembly of the engine, which they couldn't change the block, so it had to be within the oil pan itself. Because of this, 4MATIC oil pans are significantly stronger, but also the consequences for damaging one are far more extreme, because if you do damage one or there's a differential problem, then everything has to come apart. Now, 4MATIC was in production starting in 1986. Its full availability was seen in 1987 on non-US market cars, and I believe in 1989 it became available in the United States. By and large, the majority of cars sold in the States with 4MATIC were 300TE wagons, but it was also available on 300E sedans, and those things are a lot rarer than the wagons. The system has developed a bad rap because it's complicated and because of issues with the transfer case piston wearing out, as well as various hydraulic issues. But recently, Mercedes did make the transfer cases available again, indicating that they have some interest in rebuilding these parts and in keeping the 4MATIC versions going, because there are some people who use them. A friend of mine has a daughter who goes to school in upstate New York where it's very snowy, and she has a 4MATIC 300TE that has proven to be very useful in traversing extremely bad weather. And because the 4MATIC system is still largely an analog system, it means that complicated control units can, while sometimes create issues, many of the time issues are often related to bad ABS control units or related to hydraulic pressure issues or transfer case issues rather than a wiring issue or some kind of complex CAN data bus issue. This means that when 4MATIC does have problems, it typically does not interfere with the operation of the vehicle. Now, servicing a 4MATIC system is a lot like servicing any other four-wheel drive system. The transfer case has its own unique fluid, which I believe is ATF, but I could be wrong. However, in selecting an ATF for the transfer case, you must be extremely careful about how you go about it. It also doesn't have the same kind of efficient filtration the transmission does. So if your 4MATIC system is in regular use, that fluid should be changed every 4 years. I don't believe in going 25 or 30,000 miles with it. The differential fluid has to be serviced separately in the front, and because of the nature of the differentials, it's best to use something like 70-140 that has a dedicated limited slip additive. Mercedes has their own specifications for these fluids, which I don't know off the top of my head, but they are in your owner's manual for your 4MATIC car, so there shouldn't be any question about what is the right fluid. Now, sorting out a 4MATIC car today is a little bit challenging just because of the aforementioned transfer case issues, but the two main challenges to servicing 4MATIC cars are the lack of understanding of the different components in the car and, of course, parts availability. Some of the parts, such as tie rod ends and the aforementioned front wheel bearings, they just require a lot of work to source. You have to run searches on eBay and hope you get lucky and find something, and then getting things like the wheel bearings pressed out of the spindles is even harder. We recently learned that, well, I wouldn't say recently, but within the last few years, we also determined that steering knuckles with wheel bearings in them may still be available for the cars, but I don't know if this is entirely true. In the rear, the cars are a conventional W124 chassis, but there's one interesting feature that 4MATIC cars don't have that some other 124s had that was sort of a continuation of the 4MATIC influence, and I'm going to mention that a little bit here. This is called the automatic locking differential. And while the automatic locking differential was available on many cars, whether it was a 190E or a 300E or even an R129, the idea was that a hydraulic locking system, if wheel slippage was sensed through the ABS system, a hydraulic locking system employed in the differential using hydraulic pressure would lock the differential so that you would not have free spinning wheels on one side while on the other side you were struggling to route all the traction through one wheel, which is really no fun in winter weather. This automatic locking differential system, which was run through a little relay that was very similar to an ABS to a fuel pump relay or a Klima relay, proved to be almost as effective as 4MATIC. Because 4MATIC, while it's great in extreme conditions, the idea of having all four wheels turning, with some free slippage versus having the locking differential and the excellent hydraulic system that was quite simple to engage the little piston in the differential, it's almost like 4MATIC Lite. It is a very reliable system, although I have heard of some failures, but this is generally available on a lot of 124s, even past the end of 4MATIC production. Now, 4MATIC versions of the cars were sold until 1993. I don't believe they were sold in 94 and 95, but in the United States, the last 4MATIC car, the 300TE, and possibly the sedan equivalent. I'm not sure if they sold a 300E 4MATIC sedan in 93, but I don't think they did. Correct me if I'm wrong. This last version, 300TE, still used the M103 engine when the entire W124 model range had switched over to the M104 engine. The similar models like the 260E, while still available in Europe, or 300E 2.6 by then, while still available in Europe all the way up to 1992 with 4MATIC. I am actually not sure if they were available in 93 in the rest of the world market or in the European market. So if anybody has any information about that, that would be good. I believe they were. I at least believe the station wagons were, because in 1993, Mercedes was still selling station wagons with the OM603 six-cylinder engine, which was the design that the 4MATIC system was one of the designs that it was built around. Some of the other smaller cars that had 4MATIC systems, like the 250D or the 300D non-turbo, were probably phased out in the 92 model year. But again, I can't say for sure because I don't have any European sales literature. But I did have the pleasure of driving a 1991 Japanese market 300D turbo sedan with 4MATIC. The car was originally sent to, I think the owner of the car bought it in Japan and then sent it to Canada, and it lived most of its life in Canada. And while this car had, I would say, an unnecessary degree of complication, you could tell the 4MATIC system had effectively served its owner in extremely cold New Brunswick winters. And to me, it was encouraging to see that somebody had used this car, actually preserved it. The car was not rusty. It just had a very, very disgusting amount of wax oil on the bottom. But, you know, a good dry ice blasting for about a week and a half, and it would probably clean up fine. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little discussion about the 4MATIC system. Please pardon any errors or information in here, but this system deserves to be remembered because it was one of Mercedes' great innovations that sort of got forgotten for a while, but now 4MATIC is everywhere. So here we are today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you and enjoy driving your classic Mercedes.